Good morning and welcome to day 8 of Vlogmas. I'm losing track already. I have spent the morning sorting out the December colour of the month. I've just caked up one for Tom's sock and I'm hopefully going to get that cast on so that I hopefully will have a little bit of a swatch to share when they go online. Words. Hopefully I'll have a bit of a swatch to share when they go online on Friday evening. So that is the December colour of the month. I've got it skeined up here too, so you can see it in the skein. There it is. I'm really happy with it actually. I really like how this one's come out. And I've done like a yellowy gold mini to go with it. So that is good. I need to label those shortly. I've got yarn in the oven at the moment, just finishing off a test run of well, still the clubs. My second attempt at the Beatrix Potter colourway, which has gone much better this time, and I'm much happier with it, so that's good. I thought we would talk about gnomes today. I did a bit more on my Advent gnome yesterday, so that's my yarn ready to go back to. So I have finished the second clue of the Advent gnome. So I showed you yesterday the little scarf, which was clue number 1. And then clue number 2 is a hat. It's going to be a dinky little gnome. That is such a cute little hat. It's got a little bit of kind of slip stitch pattern around the bottom, which is really fun. The two colours I've gone for aren't massively high contrast, so you're not getting a big contrast in that bit, but that's fine. There'll be other contrasts in other parts of the hat, so that is good. Now, I've obviously talked about the gnomes a fair bit, and as you know, if you've watched my podcast, and I think I may have mentioned it already on Vlogmas, I've knit every single one of the mystery gnomes that Sarah of Imagined Landscapes has created. So I thought what might be quite fun is if we hunt them all down today and I can share them all with you. Now, normally that would be really easy because they live on the unit in the dining room, but the unit in the lounge. But the unit in the lounge has been converted into an Advent unit and the gnomes have been kind of dispatched around my living room and dining room. So we're going to need to hunt them down. Right, the first two gnomes are hiding on top of my dresser. If there's slightly dodgy camera work here, then apologies. It's because I'm having to actually hold my camera up quite high. But the gnome on the left is the Gnome de Plume pattern, which was released February 2019, and the one on the right with the little tri-point hat there is the Oh Gnome You Didn't pattern, which was August 2019. The third mystery gnome is living just on the dresser as well. This one was the Gnome is Where You Hang Your Hat pattern, which was January 2020. And I always say one of the few things that actually get me to colour work, is gnomes. This one took a minute to find. It's on our dining room dresser. This one is the Nice to Gnome You pattern, which was July 2020. I really liked this one. You hold the 2 strands of fingering weight double to give it a mild effect, and then you had this absolutely massive I-cord that you then turned into a kind of spiral swirl for the hat. Here is the 5th mystery gnome pattern. This one is called the Adventure Gnome, and it was the first Advent gnome pattern. It's so much fun. I love the kind of Christmassy bauble on the top of his hat. And also, he has legs. These boots were so much fun to knit. So fiddly. But look at those cute little boots. So much fun, that one. The 6th mystery gnome is the Not Just Another Gnome pattern. This one was April 2021, I think. And this one's got such a fun cabled hat. I really like the colours I picked for this one. For this one, I used yarn from Craft House Magic. She did a lockdown set with all inspired by different songs that featured kind of lockdowns and being trapped and all of that kind of thing, which were really, really fun minis. The 8th mystery gnome, oh, I've lost count now, is this one, All Work Gnome Play, which was, I think, August 2021. This again, I mean, they're all really fun to knit, but this one, this crazy I-cord, you had to knit this absolutely crazy long I-cord, which was then sewn down and spiraled round the hat to create this kind of ice cream cone hat. And then there was also the option to add, it's upside down, the option to add this little ice cream, because this gnome works in the ice cream parlour. This one's properly hiding away. This was the Leave Gnome Stone Unturned pattern, which was Advent 2021. And this one's so much fun. I'll see if I can get it without knocking all the bits and pieces off. Not only has he got a lovely little pocket on his hat, but you have a little rucksack on the back, and he's got a little baby gnome that fits in the rucksack. So ridiculously cute. I didn't quite put enough weight in this one, unfortunately, so he doesn't stand up properly with his rucksack gnome, so he has to lean against something. Here is number 9. This is the first gnome from this year, and it was the Make Gnome Mistake pattern. Again, as I said, one of the few things that will actually get me knitting colour work is a gnome, but I do love the colour work on this hat. This was such a fun gnome to knit, and surprisingly quick actually, because he doesn't have arms. So yeah, it was much quicker. Gnome number 10, I believe. This one was the Choose Your Gnome Adventure pattern. Now this was a really fun pattern because it came with lots and lots of options. So you could choose different weights of yarn to create different sizes. You could choose different hat patterns, different beard patterns, different body patterns, different nose patterns. There were endless options. This is what I went with, and I absolutely love him. He is the biggest gnome by far. Let me see if I can grab another gnome to put up next to him so you can get a feel for how much bigger he is. He's a proper chunky gnome. But yeah, so much fun. And then there we go. That's it. Gnome number 11 is the gnome in progress. So that is all of the mystery gnome patterns. She has loads of other gnome patterns as well, but they weren't released as mystery knit-alongs. And so far, I've only knit the mystery knit-along gnomes, although there are a few others that are really cute, and I might be tempted to knit a few of those ones at some point. If you've not tried a gnome yet, then I would highly recommend them, because although they look quite daunting, the patterns are incredible. There are little video tutorials linked for any steps that you might think would be tricky. You can do them with magic loop, so if, like me, you're not a fan of DPNs, the details are in there for how to do it with magic loop or DPNs. They are really, really clear, really well written patterns. And yeah, I just recommend them for anyone. They're really, really fun. I never imagined myself knitting this many gnomes ever. But yeah, once you start, they're quite addictive. So there we go. That is all of the gnomes. Right, it is about 4 o'clock. The boys have just gone into their trampolining lesson. So I have an hour sat in the car. I'm hoping that the audio quality is okay compared to the rest of the vlogs, because I'm actually recording this on my phone, which I used to do all the time before I got my camera, so it should be fine. But if it is noticeably different to my camera, then that is why. Anyway, it is absolutely freezing here. We are at the start of apparently like a really long cold snap, and it's been like 3 degrees all day, 3 degrees centigrade all day here. So yeah, I have my hat on, I have my shawl on, I've got my my Starflake shawl, which is what this one is. You've seen this one once already in the vlogs, but I forgot to share what it was. So this is the Starflake, which is a pattern by Stephen West. It was one of his mystery knit-alongs a few years ago. I've got my big coat on. I also have a blanket on my lap. Everything to try and stay warm while I'm sat in the car for an hour. I also have my book with me, and I have some knitting. I bought Tom's colour of the month sock, the August one, in the hope that I can get a little bit more done on the foot, although whether I'll actually end up doing that or not, it is starting to get dark, so I'm going to lose the light very, very soon. I thought, while I'm sat here chatting to you, rather than just ramble on nonsensically, which could happen, I'd give you today's fact of the day. So we've been talking about gnomes all day, so I had to have a gnome related fact, and in this case it's a garden gnome related fact. So did you know that garden gnomes originated in Germany in 1872? So they're a lot older than I thought they were. I imagined them coming in with like the kitschy kind of 1950s kind of stuff, but no, 1872 in Germany they originated. And they also have two facts for one, why not? They have been banned from the Chelsea Flower Show completely. So they are completely banned. You're not allowed to use garden gnomes in your Chelsea Flower Show setups, apart from 2013 when they relaxed that rule because there was some special gnome anniversary. I thought that was really interesting. Anyway, there we go. There's our fact of the day. Right, I am going to read my book and do a little bit of knitting and try and stay warm.